Hello everyone! My name is Lainey and I'm here to bring you my very first YouTube video. I'm going to be showing you how to do this simple everyday like pink themed look. So if you want to see how to do that, keep watching. Okay, so to start, you're gonna want to prime your face. Personally, I use the e.l.f. Mineral Primer, but I really think you should just use whatever you have, whatever works for your skin. So I start with that, and then I go to this color correcting thing. It's from Dr. Jart, but it also has sunscreen in it. I also put sunscreen on before I put any makeup on, so it's like the last part of my skincare routine in the morning. So this just like provides a little bit of coverage and also color corrects for any red. So now we're gonna get into foundation. I personally use the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth. So I use that as my darker color, and then I mix that with some Lancome like a lighter shade of that. I think it's the Miracle Tint, whatever that word is. So I mix this with a like silicone rubber beauty blender, and then I just apply that all over my face. And now I'm just using a regular beauty blender to smooth it out. I like to use the rubber beauty blender because it doesn't absorb as much product, but then to really get like a airbrushed, more smooth look, I like to use the regular beauty blender. So after that, I'm gonna put on some eye primer. So this is the Tarte Clean Slate eye primer. But like I said, like literally use whatever you have, because yeah, what works for me might not work for you, and that's okay. I'm also reasonably oily around my T-zone, so I use this oil mattifier, and this one's from Mary Kay. And then to set my foundation, I will use this tone correcting powder, and it's just from e.l.f. I just use this big fluffy brush, and I go all around. And then I'm gonna start on my concealer, which is also working to be like my base highlight. So this is the Clinique All About the Eyes. I've had this forever. So start with like a triangle under your eyes, straight down your nose, and then also a triangle on your forehead, above your lip, and below on your chin. Then take your beauty blender and blend that out. And then I like to take some excess and put it on my eyelid. And then we're gonna start with contouring. So this is just the like NYC Sunny Bronze bronzer, and that's what I start with. So I end up using 3 colors for my bronzer. So I just take and I carve out my cheekbones, and then I go down my neck, get that crisp jawline on the sides of my nose, and my forehead. Then I take a darker shade, and this is the e.l.f. like contouring palette, and I take the darkest shade and I go up the top just to where I want a really defined line. my nose, on my jawline, and then my hairline. And then I just use a fluffy brush. This is from Real Techniques. And I blend that all out. And then I go in with the next darkest shade. And I get that on like a small flat kabuki brush. And then I just go in and add some more depth to my contour. And then I once again blend that out with the fluffy brush. Then I move on to setting my highlight. So I just take a pressed powder. This one's Sonia Kashuk. And I just go all around where I had my concealer. Also up the bottom of my jaw. As you'll see, I also bake there. So it really helps your contour stand out. I'm all about the contour. Carve out those cheekbones. Okay, so now we're gonna do blush. And I just use this really old Physicians Formula one that like had little hearts on it. So because this is a very pink look, I like to do two blushes. I also use this Stila like liquid blush, and I apply that with a sponge. And then if needed, I blend it out with just my fingers. Can bake. So if you don't know what baking is, it's the process of like oversaturating your skin with powder. And it's really so that your skin can't breathe, which sounds really bad. But you want your skin not to be able to breathe so that it heats up and it heats the powder and it like cooks it, it bakes it. And then it like really soaks into your skin, and it'll stay very like matte and in place all day. And I like to do this also because I am someone who does my eyes last. So it also helps to catch any fallout. So I also take it up where I put the pressed powder because I really want that defined contour. And then I just press it into my T-zone and on my eyelids. So now we can move on to eyeshadow. So the first thing I do is do a base, and sometimes I'll just use honestly my pressed powder, but sometimes I'll be a little fancy and use eyeshadow. But just use like a more skin tone, like brownish shade. Right now I'm using a Stila palette, and I'm using this color. And then you just put that all over your lid. It's really just like evening it out, which is why I'm like, oh, just use a pressed powder. Like if that's what you have, that's what you have. Use that. It's like totally fine. So when I create my pink look, I use this vintage Vamp Charlotte Tilbury palette, mini palette thing. It's really dirty, but it comes, I mostly just use these two pink colors, the lighter one and the darker one. And then if I'm getting fancy, I'll show it to you too. I'll use the sparkly ones as well. So there's the pink sparkles and the gold. So I start off by taking like a fluffy brush. I take the lighter pink, more matte color, and I'll put that all over my eyelid. And then when I'm just putting it on, I just kind of like put it on to get the color on first, and then I'll blend out. So like if it looks like a mess right now, we'll get there. A more dense fluffy brush, and this one is from Real Techniques, and I blend it out a little. Biggest thing is you want them to be even. That's what I think the biggest thing is, at least. And then I take like a small dense blending brush, and I go in with the dark color, the dark pink, and I put that close to my lash line. I take the original brush and I blend that a little, and then if I'm not happy with that, I go in with the denser blending brush and smooth it out some more. And sometimes I'll leave it like that if I'm looking for a more matte look, but sometimes I want to get extra sparkly, so I go ahead and just use this small flat brush, and I take the light pink and I'll put that right under my brow bone and on the inner corners of my eyes. And I'll take like a flat eyeshadow brush and go in with the gold, and I'll really pack it on there and just put that all over my lid. Sparkly. I'm gonna brush out my eyebrows. I don't personally like fill in my eyebrows because I have real thick eyebrows already. I just work on their shape. Like I get them done. I get them threaded. I'm gonna go in with my liquid eyeliner. I use the Maybelline line Stiletto one, but as I've been saying, just use whatever you have. And I like to do wing eyeliner. It's probably because I have like East Asian slightly double eyelid eyes. So I think that the winged eyeliner really opens up my eyes, but do whatever you want for your eye shape. Then I'm going to curl my eyelashes. So now I'm done with my eyes, and I'm going to brush off the baking. I just use a fluffy face brush, and I kind of do it, I don't just like brush it all off because I kind of spread it out a little. And I think that helps to even out any like really harsh contouring or really harsh blush if you like happened to do that. I think that step really helps even that out. And then I go in with this really big kabuki brush. This one's from Urban Decay, and I just kind of fluff all around. My favorite step is highlighting. I use the e.l.f. highlight palette, and I because this is a pink look and pink is my favorite color, I like to use the pink. I also think it like just stands out the most. So the way I put highlight on is I take this small sponge and I dip that in my highlighter, and then I pat that on. So I do it on my cheekbones, and then on the tip of my nose, and on my cupid's bow. Take my my fan brush and blend that out a little at that nice shimmer. But then you're gonna go on to your lips. So I just put some chapstick on, and then I like to use a more oily product. So this is the Kiehl's lip balm, but you could use like Vaseline, you can use like rose salve, whatever. Just like I want to lock in the moisture, because I like to use matte liquid lipstick, so that can be pretty drying. So I like to have the moisture locked in first. So this is the Il Makiage Infinity Longwear Matte Lip Cream in Matte Secret, but it's just like a brownie maroon type color. It like honestly is really close to the eyeshadow colors, so that's why I like to put them together. So that's the finished look. I really hope you liked it. Please like this video and subscribe, and also follow me on Instagram. I post there a couple times a week, and honestly, I do stories like every single day. So if you want to keep up with me, follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.